All specs engaged. Another Xenos bioform eliminated. Swapping magazine. Subterranean Xenos below. Nowhere left to dig now, Ravener. Shock grenade loose!
We can use the Parisian again.
Halfway there, brothers. Keep it true.
Alright, we're back from TwitchCon on that tactical grind, baby. White Scar Stern Guard veteran, rocking the bolt rifle with grenade launcher, which is an absurdly good weapon. Fortunately, still no assault bikes for the thematics here. Looking forward to unlocking those with my 7 kill streaks and, you know, driving through the map at 200 miles per hour doing wheelies and endos. Tactical is a nasty piece of work. You can do stuff like that. Single headshot on Auspex target, and even when your enemies are not Auspex, well, it's a few grenade launchers and that's all that's required. Of course, we are playing Ruthless right now, playing with a level 20 heavy on my team who I do not know, and a bot as a third player. I don't think we're going to get another player this game. The matchmaking can be a little bit jank, but that's fine. This is pre-patch. At the time of recording this gameplay, patch is coming tomorrow morning. We're only like 8 or 9 hours away from that going live, so I'll be curious to see what they do in terms of balance. I believe this is the update where we're going to be getting the arena inside the battle barge and different colored lenses for our Space Marine and some of that. But in terms of actual gun balance and class balance and all that, I don't know how robust or not this update is going to be. I think there's a lot of opportunity to make some really interesting changes. But overall, I don't feel like the core gameplay loop is in a bad state at all. And yeah, I mean, if you've been frequenting Reddit or some of the other forums, Discord and stuff, I think some people would try to argue that it is in a terrible state. And I that's fine if they feel that way. I don't agree at all. Obviously, there's been some talk about bolters in particular hitting really kind of like a Nerf gun on lower difficulties with white tier or master crafted. And that may be true. I think that's true to an extent. But once you get into Artificer and Relic tier, especially with guns like this one, and you go for headshots, because remember, every single headshot in this game on anything except I think Plasma is 4 times multiplier. If you're hitting a headshot, things die fairly quickly. So that's not to say that changes aren't required, but the gun does feel a lot better, as with lots of other things, once you get up into a little bit higher tier. And if you're going to be playing Ruthless, you should be rocking purple or gold tier weapons.
Activating all specs advanced.
If you want it to feel correct. I mean, yeah, like headshots, dude. Things die. Pretty fun. I mean, obviously, there are times where certain enemy types feel very, very spongy. We've talked about that. And again, as we were talking about in that major changes video from about a week ago, The gun balance and feel of each weapon shifts heavily depending what tier it's at and what difficulty you're playing. Like I said then, there are some weapons that feel bad initially, even on minimal, that probably need to change. So you don't want people who are interested in that power fantasy to check out right away because the melee should feel like shit, right? At the same time, while Space Marine may not have a completely insane learning curve, I played harder games, there is a lot of room to grow and get better as a player, even just on the aiming side of things, whether you're sticks or mouse and keyboard. And I do think some of the complaints just boil down to, you know, have some patience, take your licks, learn the mechanics, get better, and you will have a lot of fun. It's just like Darktide, I think the core gameplay loop here is really, really damn good, even though it is far from flawless. I think this game and these devs don't seem to want to just hand everything to the player. They want you to grow as a player and get better, and I think that's okay. But we'll see. I think tomorrow's patch is going to be that first big test to see what kind of direction we'll be going. And I'm excited for it. I'll definitely be covering it, and we'll see what they do. As for the fit, the drip, I'm very, very happy with how my white scar is looking right now, dude. He looks sexy as hell. He actually doesn't look quite as good when you're on the battle board, but once you get in game, I don't know what it is, but that Wild Rider red, it just looks real nice. And interestingly enough, actually, even though we are rocking the 13th Legion loincloth, which is, I believe, Ultramarines themed, if we're looking at him from the back, you can't even tell. So it fits the color scheme perfectly. He is a Sternguard vet, so I think the right pauldron is mostly correct, although I didn't know what to do with the color of the Gothic cross. Oh, that was scary.
Demolition codes required to deploy and arm their ordnance. Source one from any soldier you see, alive or otherwise.
Stagger the shit out of this boy. Anyone knows what to do with the right pauldron, let me know. I don't hate the gray, but I didn't want to make it pop too much, and I'm not sure I was feeling like more Wild Rider red. Maybe I could just make the entire Gothic cross red. I wasn't really sure what to do with that, but everything else is looking pretty damn good. Clean AF, boy. We're gonna go up here and check armor down real quick. Get things moving. This level 20 heavy's been popping off, man. His bolter work has been on fleek. Land headshots with it, and things die crazy fast. His aim's been very good.
How is your morale?
Strong. I would share my reflections.
Always be very careful coming up here. There's usually a drop pod or wave of some variety, and sometimes those waves stack up multiple times, and you get forced back in the choke point. Go for a headshot at max range here. Yeah, every 2 minutes, anything that's Auspex gets insta-killed by my headshot. So sometimes I'll just use that on a random warrior just to clear things out and make it a little bit easier for the team. There are times, of course, where you want to save that for a naughty little zoanthrope or something, but you never know when those spawns are going to come, so it's better to just use your Auspex than hold on to it too long and never get any value out of it. We don't have the full bananas Auspex, but we have so many ways to apply it, and the big one is Perfect Parry, something I do quite frequently. We have an Arrowthrope. Gonna make sure he knows what the plan is. Do not want to push forward while extremists are on the map of any variety, or terminus.
I'm
not gonna have Auspex for this fight. It is a situation, of course, where running with a Vanguard teammate is always so beneficial. Inner Fire, I think his level 22. Every time anyone on your team assassinates something, what is it, like 10% reduction on the cooldown of your ult, so you can basically just get insane uptime on Auspex and always have it ready for every single fight. Without a Vanguard, not gonna get to use it quite as much. Or a Sniper with the headshot per. Yeah, that needs to change. I really, there's certain areas where terrain just kind of occludes exactly where the wave is. And sometimes the wave won't even show up at all. Definitely some janky elements with neurothropes and zoanthropes right now.
Scanning.
Oh, you know what? I don't think I have the, yeah, I just used that less than 2 minutes ago, probably. I'm not gonna be able to pop his head anyway. I think my biggest pet peeve with the zoanthropes right now is the laser attack that goes through all cover. They just get shot through a wall and then double hit. Like 2 of them spamming that. Sometimes it just goes completely invisible, you can't even see it. Get him! Make him deep throat that tentacle. Rending talon, whatever. It was hot.
Watch your fire, brother.
I've actually barely used melee this game. We've kind of been clearing everything out with range. Of course, there is that super useful perk. Level 21 or something, Emperor's Vengeance. Anytime you kill a Majoris enemy, you get a full mag back on your primary, which is disgusting. Now, I do not know if that's going to, if you're going to be able to fill up your entire grenade launcher every single time you kill Majoris once the patch goes live. They may decide to tweak that. I think a lot of people are arguing right now that bolt rifle with grenade launcher is one of, if not Tactical's best weapon. Arguably, probably even better than Melta. Just because of that grenade launcher spam. Because, I mean, you can shoot 12, 13 times and then kill one Majoris enemy and then get all of them back. Which is wild. And that's to say nothing of the range and the headshot potential if you're aiming well. And then, of course, there's just the fact that, you know, the grenade launcher deals huge damage, burst damage against Majoris, Extremis, and Terminus. Can stagger Lictors, can bully Raveners, and just knock them out of their animations. Yeah, I don't think there's any question. I think it is a better weapon than Melta. And it does take a little bit more skill anyway, at least if you're going for headshots and actually using the shooting aspect of it. If you're just spamming the grenade launcher, maybe not. But this is not the only bolt weapon in the game that's good. Grenade launcher is fun as hell. If you have not given it a shot, I highly recommend it. Although, again, I don't know what state it will be in after the patch. But it is a very fun weapon, and it will probably continue to be so, even if they make it so that you don't get all your grenades back every time you kill something. A Majoris every 30 seconds or whatever. There is an internal cooldown on it. I think that is 30 seconds. But, yeah, I mean, in the course of the run, it just means you can probably shoot like 100 grenades, no problem. And that's if you're not abusing ammo boxes. Alright, what we got? Bunch of dead nids.
Let us keep that swarm from ever reaching Generator 4.
Generator 4 is suffering mechanism.
I hate Gen 4. I hate it very much. We got Zoans. Okay. This could get hairy. This is always interesting because we haven't had any pressure really applied to us this game. Because we've been just absolutely murder blending everything from range and playing well from that front. But this is where things get interesting. Where the battle lines break down a bit and they automatically close the gap from all sides. This is where you often see bad teams kind of crumble. Take a ton of damage or just outright go down. A lot like Darktide in that way, actually. Ooh, automatic headshot kill. That feels good. Yeah, and I mean, same thing in Darktide. In Darktide, like, there are plenty of people that can kill everything in the game from range with their plasma or whatever, just cleaving through everything, murdering the crushers, and getting gigantic kill feeds, 15, 20 shotgunners all in a row. But they crumble the second something gets into melee with them because they don't know how to melee. They play it like it's a range-only game. It's not. Space Marine's the same way. You can get through a lot of a mission just shooting, but there are times you have to get your melee out. And if you don't know how or when to gun strike or position yourself, then gaunts, but especially Zongors, will make you very, very sad if you're playing poorly at CQB.
Back on track.
Drive train restored. Begin the course of locomotion.
Mr. Stingray is playing great. To be fair, I've seen level 7s and level 8s play well on Ruthless. As long as you have a decent Artificer or Relic to your gun, and you know how to play, it doesn't really matter what level you are. I'd say the quality of your weapon is probably a lot more important, actually, than
We are ready to ambush the enemy.
the status of your skill tree. There are certain perks that are incredibly good. What the hell happened there? I literally pressed left bumper and it just completely ignored me. Barring maybe a few select perks for each class, your level really is not a big deciding factor. It's not like Darkside where power level goes into stagger and all those other things. That's all tied to weapons here. Extremely smooth run so far, though. As is true with a lot of you, I think I do prefer the NID missions more. We'll definitely do plenty more Thousand Suns missions in the future. But I do think NIDs are more fun to fight.
Disgusting tyranny.
More explodey, more blood. Less annoying. Some of that may change very soon. I'm curious how what a lot of y'all are thinking about operations this far into the game's life cycle now. We're what, like 2 weeks in? Are you getting bored of operations? Do you feel like you've run the missions enough and you don't want to keep playing them? I think I've made it clear, but I have not gotten bored of operations. I've run Inferno probably 50 plus times on Ruthless, and I'm still not bored of it because of the AI director, which of course could go further than it does right now, but does a good job of keeping things feeling fresh. And Lethal should help a lot on that front too.
All specs engaged. Another Xenos fire form eliminated. Swapping magazine. Subterranean Xenos below. Nowhere left to dig now, Ravener.
Ooh. Absolutely dookied
Arrive
on.
in Nozick's facility. Run distraction efforts as long as you can.
Your plan is sound, brother. The swarm will be broken.
I will hold you
I
to
will
that.
hold you to that.
One thing I will say though, I think on Ruthless and definitely on Lethal, 100% on Lethal, there need to be more guaranteed waves. The thing is, if you are decent, if you're running with a good squad that communicates and deals with call-ins right away before they get them off, you make the game actively way easier for yourself. And that's how it should be to an extent, right? But because of the way it's set up, if you stop every call-in, a lot of these Ruthless runs, you'll never get a single wave at all.
Flagged objective. Fresh magazine.
And that makes it feel weird. It's like, okay, well, we're playing well on the hardest difficulty, but it doesn't feel hard because we're immediately dealing with every threat before they can even do anything. And I think there should be more guaranteed waves that pressure you, that you can't just stop outright. Because it's pretty easy to stop a call-in, right? Especially with a relic tier weapon. You've got the stagger, you've got the damage. You got flying metal boxes! But it's not just waves. It shouldn't just be waves. It should be definitely more special spawns, which are hilariously low in this game compared to something like Darktide, where you got like high intensity shock troop gauntlet, where you'll literally get like 120 special spawns in a run. Here you'll get 5 or 6, maybe, sometimes way less. And more terminus spawns. Like I wouldn't mind fighting 3 Carnifexes in a run. That would be fun as hell. Give me a wave, a double wave, a Carnifex, and 2 Lictors. That's what lethal should be. Not all the time, but enough that it makes you scared. Like, oh, if this happens, we gotta be on our toes. We gotta play well or we're done.
They are clustering at the walls. Deploy grenades. Switching to close assault.
And this final objective becomes extremely easily if you kill those warriors and the wave off with Inferno traps.
Picking up extra rounds. We must shore up our perimeter.
Nice little Overwatch from on high. Oh, his body just went flying. His torso.
Shock grenade loose.
We can use the Prometheum again. Halfway there, brothers. Keep it up.
That was a really cool passage to play. That was awesome. Oh man, it's a kill trap. Oh lord. Oh, it's a disaster.
We made our Primaris proud this day.
Brutal. That was a kill box. That is that Space Marine power fantasy, baby. Give me that ammo.
Prometheum trap is ready for ignition.
The walls will not stop them for long.
I don't know if Lethal's supposed to come in that patch tomorrow, but man, I'm ready for it. Give it to me, baby.
Ready for my mark.
Fuel system purge completed. Commencing safeguard reset. On the side, maintain the
God, that's fun.
process.
Full throttle. Not a great attack, but goddamn does it look cool. Cool guys stride slowly towards the explosions.
You are clear to detonate. Cook those rotten bastards.
We will stop their advance cold. Well, pop it.
See what he did there?
Straven here. Our ambush was highly effective.
Tenant biocides down 90% and
Debatable. I feel like that bomb did not kill 90% of that swarm.
excellent work.
Not buying it.
Extract.
Tyranids still have some element of self-preservation, right? Like, they're not going to willingly run into fire unless they're, like, in a siege where they're climbing the walls and they need to just overwhelm them with bodies. Like, in a situation like that, when they're out in an open field and there's fire in front of them, I could be wrong, but I would think the Synapse creatures, the warriors and the zoanthropes, whatever's commanding that, would be like, alright, just go around the fire. And you can see a whole huge swarm still coming down the hillside there. I don't think the rest of them are just gonna like run into the flames and kill themselves. Obviously, yeah, there are situations where they're just gonna, no matter what is happening, no matter how many are getting mowed down, they're gonna keep coming down the same path. But without any external pressure there, without being in that final siege type scenario where they're just swarming in and must overrun the defenders, I don't see the point of the hive mind going like, yeah, just we're gonna have a million run into flame for no good reason whatsoever. I'm not sure they would do that. Alright, in terms of specials, yeah, only 5 specials the whole game. I don't know if we got a single wave. Still got like decent kills there. Range damage, 18,000 and 19,000. I mean, we were really killing everything at arm's length, right? I did not have to use melee much that game at all. I think the heavy bolter player played very well. So hats off to you, Imperial Fist friend. You were killing the game with your heavy, love it. But yeah, tactical, different animal and the same beast.